Hello, friends. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Tim.
Now, listen, we've got a menagerie of fans in the room who have all just once, maybe twice, watched the premiere of the Tension video. Are you all as absolutely unbelievably hyped as I am?
I am dripping wet.
I'm not sure just yet.
You're not sure? You saw the video, right?
Yes, but I'm just not sure yet. And do you know why?
Tell me why.
This is going to be so controversial.
Go for it.
Because I love Kylie Minogue just as much as Kylie.
Lee?
I am absorbed.
I am a total horrible person now, I know that.
No.
It's true.
That video is so unbelievably full of
Green.
personality.
It is totally green. That is totally green, that album. And
just hold on, Kyle. You'll get your say. It's full of personality. She just cemented herself as an icon. Cemented herself. She's already an icon. That was unbelievable what I just saw there. High budget, slick. Oh, I have to go to you, Lee. What do you think?
I'm absorbing what I've seen. I have made a list of things that I have referenced. So I'm seeing Doctor Who. I'm seeing Stranger Things. I'm seeing Mars Attacks. I'm seeing Hunger Games. I'm getting a little smidge of Gozer from Ghostbusters.
Oh my God! Now I have that.
I like the Don't Imitate Tate Tate. Kylie Jenner. She's coming for you.
Yes, I saw that too. I must say, I saw that too. But I am not.
I've got tiny showgirls on the table. That's a nod to Vegas.
What a reference was that, right? What a beautiful reference, yeah.
And Attack of the 50-Foot Woman as well. And I'm also getting Sherwig in the red. I think she borrowed it for the day.
Can't help giving you up.
Do you think her and Madonna will do a song or not?
Now, our Toby, you're sitting there. You've done the right thing. You hung in there like so many thousands of fans across the world. We were waiting for this premiere, sitting there. You were having a wine.
Yes.
What are your impressions?
I love it. I love Padam Padam. I'm an old school boy. My first Kylie album was Impossible Princess. My second favorite album was Body Language, and that's debatable amongst all of us. Padam Padam, just with the vocals and the music and her on the car was fantastic. And when I heard this new song, I was like, yep, club.
Oh, this is a big moment for Kylie, my friends. Kyle, you've been waiting patiently. Tell us about what you thought of the video clip tonight that you've seen. What did you make of it?
It was very green, but I must say it was beautiful. It was well done, especially when she goes into that, how can I put it, Cher voice moment. That her dance and her look was fantastic. I'm really so sucking up in my brain right now. I wish I never stole something so I could go to Las Vegas and watch it. I now have that criminal record for stealing something and I can't watch it live in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Lee, listen, after you watch this, you've clearly scribbling notes, which is just your style and very, very professional of you. Is it going to relate to the American audience that she's just picked up with Padam? Will Tension, the video clip, appeal to them?
I think she's going all out for the US market, so I think it's very cleverly aimed, very glossy, very very J-Lo-ish, I think that
J-Lo-ish? How dare you say that? That's Kylie Minogue, you fucker.
She's just taking little elements from what they like and kind of putting it. I like the fact that there's a nod to Showgirl. I like the kind of cheeky references to Doctor Who.
Can I Sorry, can I jump in
Of course.
and say,
I think so.
when she walks into the club and she has the hat and the scarf on, I'm sorry, but is that not British Airways from the 90s?
I think so too. I was actually thinking Virgin Australia.
And I was like, that's very a nod to British British roots. Well, she doesn't have British roots,
No,
but
it's
she
like
has.
it's like the airplane, and you can exit here and here.
And when she
Take
did
me
Light
aboard.
Years,
Yes,
back in the
absolutely.
front, and I was like, I see you, and I like that. So
Did anyone
I wondered
understand,
if someone else
Toby?
thought that.
Did you understand I don't. I'm going to put it out there. What's the concept? Because there's the funny little woman controlling the knobs, obviously Kylie character. Like, what has she walked into? Is it some sort of spaceship, or what the hell is the concept?
It's the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
I think it's whatever you believe it to be.
I think she's walked into a nightclub, and I think she's walked into her new nightclub, her new evolving, and she's seeing herself.
Oh.
And she's seeing
Can I
all
ask
the
a personal
different...
question? Have any of you guys ever hung out with Kylie Minogue? Because I haven't, and I'd love to. But I have hung out with Danny Minogue at the old taxi club in Sydney.
Fair enough. Lee, you said the TARDIS. You reckon it's a reference to? Do you really mean that, or does it remind you?
Genuinely, I do. She was in an episode of a Christmas episode of
course.
Doctor Who many years ago, and she's a big fan. And I think there's an element of that. I think there's the element of lots of different films and sort of you've got to watch it more times to kind of going, oh yeah, that looks like from that. And I have to say, she looks stunning in the pink jumper. And the kind of lower key makeup. And I hope she sends that back to me after she borrowed it, because I don't want her to pull it out of shape.
Didn't she look so natural? The extremes in the looks in this video clip are really interesting, right? She's gone all extreme when she's playing the character, fiddling with the knobs, whatever that character's meant to be doing. But then...
It's like fiddly-dee, fiddly-do.
Fiddly-dee, fiddly-do. And then she's so natural. It reminds me a bit of, there's a video clip for, I think it's called Black and White or Black White, from a little EP she did. It's very natural looking, really, at parts of this. Amazing.
Her team behind this album and the film clips are really pinpointing certain features.
The perfection parts.
Yeah. And I think that
it's perfect.
She's gonna wipe the American market, which she wants to do.
I hope she doesn't, though. I really hope she doesn't wipe the American market. And the only reason why I say that is because I'm an Aussie, and she just deserves the other side of the world.
You wanted to have the American market, or you don't?
God no.
What's wrong with the Americans? I know they've got a funny accent, but what's wrong with them?
Flash in the pan movement.
But one thing that keeps coming through my mind is other celebrities are going to be in awe of this, because it's what we're all trying to strive for in our pop careers. Listen to me, I've just included myself in the group. We're all trying to strive for this, aren't we? But like Madonna would look at this and admire it. There's no question in my mind. This is so sick.
I totally concur, but I just don't want Kylie to be big in America, because as soon as she's big over there, she's just an American and that's it. But now she's an Aussie. She's a pom bag. She's everything that they're not. She's everything that they're not. Yeah, like a pommy. She's a pommy. She's everything they're not.
Hey Lee,
that's what I love.
Have you ever heard the expression pom bag?
I've never heard the expression pom bag. I've heard the expression pom, but she has dual nationality because she's like a part of her family are Welsh. So
stop it! Don't. I hate it when you guys do that. She's Australian. Full stop. She's not partly British. She's not partly Welsh. God, stop it,
She's
Lee.
a citizen of the world, for goodness sake. She is
yes,
wherever she
American world. She should never be in the American world. No way, ever.
Is this going to be like, is it going to get the amount of streams and views? Is this video going to capture the world's imagination?
Yes, 100%. It's already doing it when it was leaked illegally, if we can say that word. People are loving it globally already, and I think it's going to be bigger than Padam. Personally, I'm going to put that out. I'm going to go, when it comes to a club song, let's narrow it down. Let's go club song. It's going to be a banger.
Okay, well, Toby, can you use the best part of this song in a club song? Because we know how club songs work. They mix it in and they mix it up. And
Baby, break it down.
Oh, when he touches her or him? In her
doesn't matter. Break it down, baby. Break it down.
Yeah,
touch me right there. Touch me right there. Break it down.
All right, Kyle, what about you? Is this a bona fide hit?
It already is before I even say it, because we're already talking about it. But I must say, the next song I'm waiting for is the rest of the album in September.
Right. Okay. Good. You're already looking forward. Like, can't you just mellow on the video just for a moment, Kyle?
Okay. Would you like me to say something nice about the video?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got Kylie in it.
Yay. Well done, Kyle. Well done. Many Kylies, actually. Many Kylies. And Lee, is this going to be a big hit? And there's a big call from Toby. They're bigger than Padam. The track's good, but this video is taking it next freaking level.
It's slick. It's got a budget. She looks amazing. I think that it will do.
Out of this album coming out, that's what I want to know.
It's going to do well.
27th September.
It's going to do well, people. There is a second love for Kylie in the world. It's like the second coming. Only she's better looking.
And I desperately want to hear what you all out there think. Send us an audio message, a text message. Time to talk Australia at outlook.com. Hey, Toby, Kyle, Lee, thanks for watching the video and getting straight on here and doing an initial reaction. I really appreciate it. Oh, you all rushing back to watch it again?
Yeah.
No, because I am so angry right now. I want the rest of the album out now.
No, I am. I'm totally going to play back.
All right.
5-10 times.
Hang in there, guys.
Hey, guys, I love all your comments. Thank you so much. It was cool hanging with you guys for the first time ever.
Coming to you from the mountain fortress of pop culture. You're listening to Time to Talk.
Padam, I hear it and I know. Padam, I know you want to take me home.
Hey you, welcome to the fortress. Are you on a high as well? An absolute high. What a weekend for Kylie fans. By the way, for those of you who tune in, wanting to hear about Britney and Madonna and Michael and Prince, you'll have to tune into another podcast because this is all Kylie, this episode. It has to be all Kylie because this is Kylie weekend. I am on a high. There's no other way of putting it. How good is the video clip for Tension? Totally unexpected, kooky, professional. There is nothing safe about this, and that is what I wanted, and I know it's what you wanted too. Well, let's be honest, there's a group over there to our left. You see them over there? Huddled around the Debbie Gibson fan club tent. Can you see them over there? They're talking negatively about Kylie. Can you see them? Look at them. They've got scowls on their faces. They've got no joy in their hearts. It's horrible. I know there are some of you who don't like Tension. You can't connect with it. And I get that the first time I heard it. And that's what Kylie does. She gives you something unexpected and then it grows on you like mold. I did love it instantly though. And I have said to you many times over the past 6 weeks, if this has the right video, it's going to be epic. And we do have the right video, my friends. Even if you don't like it, please accept the fact that this was the right video to accompany this as she tries to soldier through the United States, much like Hitler did with Poland. I mean, this is amazing. It is the right video. And the Yanks, many of you listening, you're going to love it. And you are loving it. And you're going to tell everyone about it. Will it be as big as Padam? It's a stupid bloody question. Stop asking, is it going to be as big as Padam? That is hardly the point. Did we want In Your Eyes to be as big as Can't Get You Out of My Head? Okay, probably we wanted it, but we didn't expect it. Of course it's probably not going to be as big as Padam, but is it the right track to further progress this campaign? Well, hell yes it is, and that video is going to be the envy of celebrities and pop stars all over the world. They're going to look at it and they're going to go, I wish the hell that I'd done that. Okay, now I've got a very terrible list in front of me that I'm going to try to work my way through. This is a self-referential video. However, I know that I've taken it to a ridiculous next level. I was trying to see parts of this video that are referencing herself deliberately, but I see a lot of references that probably are not deliberate in this video. So let's go through them, see if you caught these as well, and if you agree. If you don't, that's okay too. Send me an audio message. Take out your phone right now, record me a couple of minutes, and send it to timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com. So I can see the eyes from Intimate and Live. I can see the spaceship, probably upgraded a little bit from Put Yourself in My Place. There are multiple Kylies. A-la did it again. She looks a little bit like she did in Showgirl Homecoming in the Burning Up segment. There is more than a hint of German bold italic. She's wearing the Padam boots. We've got the Monster Woman from Giving You Up. Tick. We have a broken disco. There's a tiny bit of black and white choreography here. That's the one I think a lot of you won't agree with. How about this one though? See if you caught this. I'm very clever because I did. You didn't, but I did. Having sex with a computer screen. Didn't she have a song about that? Automatic Love, my friends. Automatic Love. The Motel. Fucking hell. Sorry, did I just say that out loud? The Motel from Dancing and Padam. Now listen, my problem with The Motel is that it always changes. It's sort of the same and sort of not. That Motel from Dancing and then the one in Padam have different fixtures inside it. What is she doing? Anyway, she's referenced it again. She must be finding it very amusing to screw with our brains around that. She sort of points and has a little bit of a relationship with the person across the table, a la Kiss of Life. There's a little bit of that sort of pointy sort of attitude going on. There's a Your Disco Needs You kaleidoscope. Now, if you didn't get this one, you should just turn off right now and leave Kylie Kingdom immediately. There's Showgirl. Have we ever had Yellow Showgirl before? Yellow Showgirl. Obviously a nod to Vegas as well, which is really cool. And all of this wearing shoulder pads from Supre. I mean, this is amazing. I'm so excited about Tension. I'm really looking forward to just watching the feedback, sitting back and watching the feedback and enjoying this over and over. How often is it that a song is enhanced by the video clip? It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kooky, it's eccentric, it's sexy, it's classy. It's just the unexpected, and thank God for that. No more safe Kylie. Unexpected Kylie is what we want. Please make the performances equally as epic. Come on, Kylie, bring back the age of a superstar. Don't play this one safe. You've done everything else right. A big, massive thank you to Sophie, who has directed both the videos here and lots of Kylie videos before. You're behind the scenes, but we owe you so much as fans. Tension is Kylie's You Won't Break My Soul moment. Let's sit back and breathe and just really enjoy this era. The album is a cracker. Okay, so what I want you to do for me is settle in. This is all about Kylie. Grab a drink. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming An Audience With. She's going to be doing it again, folks. If you haven't heard, she's about to do it again. As always, it is so beautiful to be sharing this moment with you.
Whenever I listen to Tim and his panel of guests, my toes begin to curl, and I feel just the right amount of tingling all over my aching body. Now, let's get back to the show.
Chris from Brisbane, also now in the Rocks, in Sydney, maybe staying where Kylie's staying. I don't know. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to finally connect properly, right?
Absolutely.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm
You're not
good.
convincing me, man.
I caught up with some Sydney friends last night and, let's just say we're a little dusty, but we're good.
You've been listening to Tension, the track, for a little while now. You've been trying to acclimatise to it. Last night, you're out, definitely had a bit to drink, and you watched the video clip. I said, don't tell me what you think until you wake up. Possibly not fresh, but until you wake up in the morning. Go on, hit me with it. Where are you sitting with tension? Because you've been struggling, man.
I have. I've struggled with this since I first listened to it. I hoped that the video for this was really going to help me. You know what I mean? This song, and I've been reading a lot of this online as well. It's undeniably a grower, I think, for a lot of people. On first listen, you're a little bit, not sure. What was that? The video, not what I was. Look, none of us knew what to expect. I watched it and I kind of went, what was that? And I've watched it several times this morning, over and over and over, and I'm still trying to make sense of it. I think I'm a little bit stuck on what's the narrative of this thing.
I have no clue what is going on. We did a initial reaction last night, which people listening to you right now would have just listened to this conversation. And if there was one theme, it was like, what's that funny little woman at the control panel doing? And why is she in? Why is the hotel from Dancing and from Padam in the back? And like, if you're looking for a narrative, I think you're going to have to make it up yourself.
Look, I think if I've come to any conclusion, that little house thing in the desert, I'm sure that's the shed in Kylie's backyard, and they just recycle it each time.
Yes, just with granny flat out the back. They used it for dancing, and then they thought,
how do we rehash this a few times? I'm not sure what that's all about. It must have some sort of.
Now, come on.
We're not yet sure.
I'm definitely getting a more refined version of my Chris from Brisbane at the moment, that's for sure, because last night you were raging to the point where apparently you were banned from some sensitive Facebook groups.
I think I was. And I was almost going to say to you, I think your introduction today should have been, Chris from Brisbane back to due to unpopular demand. I'm not sure.
But you speak the truth. And I want to put my hand on heart and be serious for a moment. The reason that I think you and I connected was because we won't just call a Kylie track fantastic for the sake of it. We've both been there right from the beginning.
Yes.
I actually must admit, the first time you sent in an audio clip, I got chills because we both had similar upbringings. It sounded like we both grew up in the burbs with people who didn't understand why we were so obsessed with Kylie. But when we first heard her, there was something magnetic and hypnotic and cosmic. And here we are. But you're not a fan who will just applaud everything she does.
Look, I'm not. I'm a realist as well. I'm a diehard fan. I love it a bit. And I've been thinking about this morning, and sometimes I sort of think to myself, do you know what? Maybe have I got to a point in her career where I'm such a fan? Maybe I expect too much. I don't know.
That's a phenomenon when you followed a star for as long as we have. It's not that you expect too much. It's that the build-up for every era is so big that I don't know if anything could lead up to it. I often think, am I being unfair on her? With Golden and every era, I've expected huge things and sometimes been disappointed.
Yeah. Look,
hey, before you answer that, what type of coffee are you drinking?
Me, I'm having a wee vanilla flat white at the moment.
A vanilla flat white. Well, I'm sitting here with my long black because it's bloody cold. We were getting our spring, and then they come and hit us across the face with this cold blast. Are you getting it down there in Sydney?
I was here yesterday. I was like, "What are you doing to me, Sydney? What are you doing?"
Yeah, really windy, right?
Really windy, really cold.
Yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate to all the people listening that we are of a certain age, because you and I can connect about the weather as well as Kylie, right? Okay, so carry on. We expect a lot when she launches a new era.
That's absolutely the case these days. I think you expect a lot from a new era, but when it's titled Tension and when you have such a strong lead track to the album, and then it's so long between drinks, leading up, which is all strategic, as we've, spoken about. They've played their cards right and all the rest of it. But I don't think it helps the fact when it's titled Tension. You know what I mean? The expectation is already so high. And then
you're literally getting tension waiting.
Yeah. And there was just such a long time waiting for single number 2. and then here it comes, and it's called Tension. I think the expectation is heightened even further. So it has grown on me. The video, I'm still trying to piece it together. I am liking it a little bit more each time I see it, but I'm confused. Do you know what I was hoping for this album? I was hoping for some sort of like Better the Devil You Know moment. I really was.
Oh, I see. Well, that's a lofty ambition.
It is. It is, but this is what I mean. Have I got to a stage where I just simply expect too much? Sometimes I also think a lot of these other fans out there, I often feel like a lot of people these days might be very easily pleased. I don't know.
With your permission, I'd like to share what you were writing with me, some of what you were writing to me last night while you were, under the influence. Does that sound reasonable? Yeah,
sure. Go nuts.
You said, let me go back.
Mind you, this might be news to me at this point too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Can I? I'll try to. Well, I don't need to adopt your accent. We've pretty much got the same type of voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. Raced back to the hotel. Left a family friend. Catch up to watch video. Song itself has grown on me a lot. The video, however, shit. And I write, no. Best thing ever. And you write, what? Exclamation mark. And then I grab it on as I do. And you go, quirky is all I can agree on. Everything was out of sync. Like the start of Stop Me From Falling. By the way, when you wrote that message, I thought, out of sync. It's probably the 4 bourbons you'd had at that stage. I am so let down, you wrote. So you were feeling really compromised last night, really disappointed. And I think you finished up the message path by saying, I feel so sad. Which broke my heart because I was like on top of Mount Everest last night.
Do you know what? I'm envious. I wish I'd felt that way. I really did. And I think, look, I had quite a bit to drink. Do you know what my biggest beef with the video is? And that's not the bourbons. I watched it back today. And you know what? I was so excited to see some movement. I was so excited to see Kylie dancing in a video again. But for me, the choreography was questionable. It didn't seem I don't know, because she's controlling that thing and she's moving and whatever, but it's just like the choreography wasn't entirely in sync with the track itself, and it's such a strong chorus, and I kind of just was like, this just doesn't match up for me. It's just not hitting the mark. I don't know.
I was thinking it would be fairly slutty, because the song feels slutty to me when she gets to that particular part when you're, oh my God, touch me right there.
Yeah, you're right.
That part, I thought we'd see hands sliding down thighs, fingers inserted in places.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be sort of sexercised, with the ass rubbing against the metal fence thing.
But when this came up, and that's not why I love this video, because I was, my expectations were low or anything. I actually just think this is one of the best of her career. It's because she actually adopts the different characters properly. When Kylie actually has a tendency to sort of have this subtle wink behind the eye, like, I'm just acting, I'm just playing. But she actually really embodies the little white-haired robot. Like you say, I love being baffled by this video clip. I have no clue. Try to help me understand why it's not grabbing you, because I still don't quite understand. The video I'm talking about now, not the song. Because it's so polished. That's why I'm trying to work out how someone couldn't be impressed. It's very American. It's going to capture the Americans, I reckon.
Yeah, you're right. And that was my initial reaction. Look, I was kind of delighted with how polished the production of it actually was. Within saying that, I think it annoyed me for the same reason a little bit, because in a lot of ways, I kind of felt like it was a bit of a missed opportunity. It looked so glossy and polished, but I just didn't enjoy the vibes. I've never really seen a Kylie look where I've gone, you didn't nail that, but I don't know. It was just collectively the choreography, the outfit choices, I thought like when she's in the pink and she kind of quite looks like herself and she's not really a character at all, felt a little bit out of place in comparison to the rest of the other characters she's portraying or whatever's going. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean?
It does, yeah. I
sort of kept snipping back to that, and I was like, oh, that's a bit basic. And then she's the sort of white-haired robot sort of girl, and
I love the choreography of the white-haired robot girl. Like, I've never seen Kylie dance like that in years. Like, I know it's meant to be a bit robotic. There's a bit of Your Disco Needs Your Kaleidoscope at one point as well. Sorry, they're just popping into my head as I'm replaying it in my brain.
Yeah, sure.
By the time it got up to 4,000 views last night, I swear about 800 of those belong to me. Is this going to be a hit?
Do you know what? Look, I think it will. I think it will. I don't think it'll be anywhere near the success of Padam Padam. And having read through, several groups and pages and fan pages and things today, people do seem to be a bit divided on this song, I've got to say.
Look, I would say that the bulk of people are really excited about it, but there's a very vocal people who just, they don't get it. And that doesn't mean that they're not smart. It just means that it doesn't relate to them, or they don't relate to it. But with the video, the comments are really amusing me because there's so many along the lines of, well, that was ... interesting.
Yes.
Because even I watched it and I actually exclaimed out loud, oh my God, and that's not me. I'm not an oh my God person, but in the middle of it, I was like, what the hell is going on? But that's why I love it. I wanted her not to do. Kylie has a tendency to fall into ruts, I believe, and stay safe.
Agree.
She didn't stay safe here. I was going to cancel is what can happen when she plays it bold and it doesn't go right.
Yeah.
This is what can happen when she plays it bold and it does go right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I think I just had a thought actually while you were saying that. And I think for me as well, a bit of that shock factor and confusement around it was right. So it's off the tail end of Padam Padam, which was such a distinct theme and so cohesive and you know what I mean? There was obviously a very, very distinct sort of design brief and what she wanted surrounding that video and what it was supposed to capture. And then it's kind of gone to this, which is very different. You know what I mean? It's gone from a video where there's the one very distinct look to so much going on. And for a track that's not overly fluid, you know what I mean, anyway. So, I mean, this track's kind of like, it's a very slow start. And you're like, oh, what's that? With that sort of 90s house vibe going on. And then it's sort of, it creeps into it. And then you just get that banger chorus that kind of comes out of nowhere. There's nothing leading into it. So it's a bit of a disjointed track that takes a bit to get used to as it is. And then watching the video, I guess it kind of felt the same because there was so many different looks and so much. It was almost like, where am I looking? What's going on? I'm trying to keep up with it. That sort of thing, if that makes any sense.
I wanted to give you one last opportunity too, Chris. What do you want to say to all those unbelievably lame Kylie fans who love to shut down anyone with a different point of view? Because they do. They block you. They delete your comment. They kick you out of groups. They tell you to fuck off. Yeah. Like, what do you want to say back to them? Because that really pushes my buttons.
Look, me too. And look, I'm the kind of guy, I call a spade a spade. I say things candidly. I'm just sharing my point of view. And what I'd say to those people is, they're in their diehard fans and wah. And as am I, you know what I mean? But at times, I think when we're super fans, we are, look, if you say that you're not critical at points, you're lying. You really are, because and it comes from a place of passion. You're passionate about it, And what I'd say to those people is, you know what, just because I'm not blown away initially or I don't think it's some of her best work throughout her career or whatever, I'm entitled to my opinion just as much as you are to yours. You know what I mean? It certainly doesn't come from a place of hate. It's just sharing. We're all entitled to our opinions just as much as each other,
Superfan in Australia goes out of town, has a few drinks, then probably, between you and I, you're probably getting a bit cocky and a bit forthright on Facebook, texting with one hand, beer in the other, and then they're kicking you out of groups. I sort of kind of like the story, Chris. There's a small mini-series in it.
Look, I'm slightly humoured. I'll find another Kylie fan page to join, don't worry.
Oh, this has been fun. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your views. I'll let you go back to those Ida magazines now.
No, no worries. Thank you for having me on.
Sometimes amateurs know best. and a lack of professionalism is all you'll hear on the Time to Talk show. Join Tim and his panel of guests as they wade their way through a range of news, music, and pop culture treats. Time to Talk, the show hosted by amateurs for unprofessional listeners.
When Kylie's single Tension dropped, I was shopping in Morrison's. It was close to 5 p.m. and I was pacing up and down the shop because I was desperate to get back to the car to get internet so I could hear the new single on Apple Music. I literally played Kylie's single all evening. I love her new song and I want to get my piano back out of the garage, even though it won't have the same electronic sound as Tension, and learn the first bar and chords of the song, and as it sounds amazing.
Thank you so much to our Katie. I really hope that you do learn Tension on the piano, and if you do, send us a sample.
Hi, this isn't Kylie Minogue, and I love listening to Time to Talk.
Nathan!
Oh, fabulous. I can hear
you. How are you?
All good, thank you.
We let you back on the show.
Oh, I know. I'm so lucky. Lucky.
Right. You know how I feel about the young and the beautiful? You know I don't like those things.
Oh, and I'm both, so...
I know. And people also know how I feel about joy, and yours just sort of this hideous combination of all three of those things, yet here I am talking to you.
How on earth can you be a Kylie fan and not like joy? That is what she's about. Come on.
Well, that's true. She's my only little glimpse of joy, I've got to say. But otherwise, joy is abandoned in this territory. No joy allowed. You must be as excited as I am, though. An audience with... for the second time.
I can't believe it. I mean, I was looking it up earlier. I think she's the only singer who's had a second audience with in the UK. Dame Edna Everage had 2, but obviously hers is more stand-up-y sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can't believe that she's doing it again.
Because it's such a rare thing, let me just see if you can hear this.
I can indeed.
Time to talk. Welcome to the sound effects pad. Here I am. You're going to be so sorry, listeners. You're going to be so sorry. I now have access to a whole host of sound effects. Let me do it again, Nathan. Ready?
By the sounds of it.
Actually, can you just say, my name is Nathan and I'm on Time to Talk?
My name is Nathan and I am unfortunately on Time to Talk.
Oh, yes. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I've got so many at my disposal. I am very excited about this. But some people were not a fan of the first audience with. Now, you've got a bit of a story because you were, oh, God, here we go. You were how old when that was aired?
Oh, I don't know how, like, I think I was 3 or 4. Like, I wasn't very old. It was the first ever live show I'd ever seen of Kylie's.
Did you hear what he just said? Just glibly threw it in there. He was 3 or possibly 4, you know?
I was indeed. No, honestly, when I first saw it, because it was like I say, it was the first time I'd ever really experienced Kylie as a show woman. I'd heard her music, but I'd never seen her perform. So it was a huge deal for me. I was absolutely besotted by it. And I thought every Kylie show was going to be like it. I genuinely thought Kylie would pause to ask questions. And I thought she was going to ask me one. And obviously she never did.
When you went to see her, you thought she was going to be like taking off the top hat and go, right, Nathan, up the back. Can I hear from you?
I did. I honestly, infant me was convinced that was what was going to happen. And
what was going to be your question, Nathan?
Oh, probably if she'd marry me or something. I don't even know. It would have been something very simplistic, I'm sure. But...
Can I have your top hat, please?
Yeah, something like that. Do you have a tiara that I can have, Kylie?
Exactly.
I did that. I actually did do that to her the first time I met Kylie.
Hang on a second. You've met Kylie?
Oh, yeah, 3 times.
You make me sick. You were 4 years old when an audience with aired. Some of us had done the hard slog for decades by that stage. I've never met the woman. You're sliding in there asking her for a top hat. What do you mean you've met Kylie?
Oh no, the first time I ever met Kylie, it was
the first time. Hang on a second. This is the second time I've interrupted your story, and you're desperate to tell it. But let's just deal with the facts here. This is the first time you met Kylie, which implies there've been more times you've met Kylie.
Okay, so no, it was actually the second time. I lie. The first time I met her was the briefest thing imaginable. It was at the Anti-Tour. And I'd gone to see the Anti-Tour. I specifically remember because I was really not supposed to be there. But I sold my iPod Touch at the time because my parents wouldn't let me go. So I sold my iPod Touch to fund my trip to Manchester to go and see the Anti-Tour. And I met her very briefly then. But it was just like a hello sort of thing.
How did you meet her?
When she was coming in, it was at the Manchester University Academy arena. It wasn't very big at all, but the back entrance was on a side street, so you could just stand there. So we were stood there waiting for her. And some twat tried to push in front of me, a literal child, to meet her. But luckily I was with somebody who guarded me, so they couldn't push in front of me. But yeah, so I met her then. But when I met her,
what was she wearing when she went through to this is before the show, right? So
yeah,
she casual at that stage.
Yeah, she was. She was in jeans and she had a hat on. It wasn't a cap, but it was similar, and just a t-shirt, I think.
Wow.
But the second time was later that year
in
Harrods.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. He's on to the second time. How many times are there, by the way? How angry are you going to make me?
3 times.
All right, I'll just hang on a second. Can I get my drink? Carry on.
No, so the second time was in
Harrods. Can you hear the ice? Can you hear the ice?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'll just have a gin. Carry on.
No,
Pretend I'm not here, Nathan.
Harrods.
Why not?
Do you want to know about it or not, Tim?
Now, don't you get all uppity in my face. Thank you. This is my show. Go on, carry on. Harrods. Where are Harrods?
Yeah, the second time was in Harrods for the Kylie fashion book signing, which I went to London for, and we went there at 9 p.m. the night before to ensure that we were going to get there, and they gave us some wristbands. She actually came to meet everybody after we'd left, though. She came at about 1 o'clock in the morning to come and speak to her fans and say thank you so much for spending the night queuing to come and meet us, but we missed that. But yeah, when I actually went to meet her, there were rose petals all over the place. Her old tour shoes were scattered around the shelves of Harrods. And as I went over to her and I spoke to her, I ran out of things to say. So I just kind of shoved my hand in her face and went, "Oh, touch me, Kylie."
Oh, God. Oh no, this is terrible.
She did though. She found it really funny. She found it funny.
She did. Did her security guards find it amusing?
I don't know. I can't say I was looking at anybody but Kylie at the time.
All right, now carry on. There's another story. I'm fully aware that we've still got one to go. Keep going. What's the third time?
We've got one to go. Okay. So the third time was at the Golden launch, and they had a competition where if you bought an album, a golden album copy with HMV, you were entered into a draw to win a ticket to go and see Kylie. I'm actually on her Twitter on a video of this, and I happened to win, so I just ended up going to meet her again.
Officially, have to ask: is that the end of the stories?
That is the end.
It deserves one of these then. Very good, very good. Wow. 3 times this person who, honestly, I've got the same problem with people who get front row tickets at the concerts. How these people, these blow-ins, get these tickets in the front row who've never barely bought a record in their life. Someone like me, I've slaved for her since 1986. I put up with the green hair in the Hendersons. I still stood by her. I stood by her when she left Neighbours in the little funny car and drove up the street crying, leaving Mrs. Mangle in her wake. I was there, and I've never met her. I've never seen her. It's not fair.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Tim. It sucks to be you.
Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. And people wonder why I've got no joy in my life. So we're here to talk about the second audience with Kylie. This is amazing. And I was curious because you're British and you probably know all this, but it's an institution, for those of you who don't know, an audience with, it's basically a television show. And it started in, I did look this up earlier,
80s, 90s, I think. It was, or maybe longer, actually.
It was 78, and I've never heard of this person, Jasper Carrot. It actually started as an audience with Jasper Carrot, who was a comedian, and then the first 6 episodes were all about him, but then from 1980 onwards, as you said, it became, okay, well, let's do an audience with ... and put people in. So it's an institution. I find it, I've still not acclimatized to the format of it, to be honest. It's not that I didn't love the Kylie show, but it's very contained. It seems very small. I suppose it's meant to be a bit intimate.
Yeah.
I don't like
I think
the
it's quite
questions.
prestigious, though.
Yes.
I view it as quite a prestigious thing, to be honest.
True.
Because it's such like a rarity, they don't do an audience with very often. Like the last one was Adele, so it's quite the compliment to have one, never mind two.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It seems to be very much reserved for a very special class of entertainer. But, you know, just the questions. You mentioned the questions, and obviously as a little fella you wouldn't have known, but it just seems so, I mean, and it was, there's no question, very choreographed, very rehearsed. She knew what questions, she knew where they were coming from. She had her answers prepared.
Sure,
yeah, all of that sort of stuff. But it was fun. I should be more joyous. I should be more youthful, shouldn't I, Nathan? I should just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, you should stream.
I can...
No, honestly,
nice throwback dig. That was nice, actually.
It was good, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so too.
90% of people listening won't get that, but the dagger's here, my friends. I promise it's right at my side. I'll pull it out later.
Honestly, Tim and I are just like passive aggressive central, I think, but I think it's quite iconic.
I tell you what, she looked unbelievable when she came out with that pterodactyl on her head.
Oh, I know. Honestly, that was the
dinosaurs
moment
and Kylie. I was in heaven.
That was the moment that I saw it, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is just the most incredible thing ever!" Because she looked phenomenal in it. And
surely, as a little fella, you must have asked people, "What the hell is that on her head?"
No, I just wanted it. I wanted to wear it myself. Honestly, that was all I was seeing. I was seeing myself.
It's not something you could walk down the street in, no.
Oh, it's something I would walk down the street in. You know,
really?
But no, honestly, I thought her first audience with was incredible, and I'm so intrigued to learn about how people didn't like it. So what were people saying?
I don't know if anyone didn't like it. Look, all right, I'll give you the context. For fans like me, and I'd written on Say Hey multiple times through the Impossible Princess era, Kylie not only will come back, but she will redefine pop. I knew that I knew she'd be back in a massive way. She comes back with Light Years. It was massive. Then Fever takes it stratospheric. And then she goes on to this again. If you were in England, it would have made a lot more sense because, as you've said, it's prestigious. But for an international viewer, and I didn't know anything about that program at the time, it was like, what are you doing this little telly show for? Why are you doing you're on the back of Fever. You're now global. You're international. It just reminded me of maybe Madonna appearing on Britain's Funniest Home Videos or something. It seemed like a real, not prestigious at all. But, I mean, don't get me started on the Kylie show. Now, that was an abomination.
Definitely in comparison to an audience with, I prefer her an audience with to the Kylie show.
Yeah, so many good moments. And I must point this one out because a lot of people don't know about it. The editors, the people who edited together an audience with, did the dirty on Boy George in the audience. So he wasn't participating. He was been a bit of a sulk, and the editors implied that he was stoned by cutting to his face, cutting away, and then cutting to another person's T-shirt, which said stoned across it.
I don't think he's particularly well liked at the moment.
He seems a bit of a crabby man, that's all. And he was furious about it. I found that very amusing. Days later, he said, "Don't think I didn't notice that editing." It's like, ha. Yeah. That was very amusing. But look, didn't she look great, though? Honestly, I don't think Kylie has ever looked better than on an audience with.
Her performance of Fever.
Oh, yes, the nurse's outfit.
I've always wanted to recreate that, like, genuinely, like...
You want to be the Kylie character or one of the dancers?
Oh, absolutely. No, I used to work in drag, and if I had the budget to do some of the things like Kylie did, I would recreate them beat for beat.
How much does it cost to buy a little nurse's outfit? Not much.
Well, the nurse's outfit, not so much, but paying dancers and getting the stretcher
and getting the local RSL club to sponsor you. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, true. Although you can just recreate it in your bedroom. And actually, I bet you're going to tell me you have.
Of course.
So you know all the little moves from the Fever, the silly little hand to the forehead type thing?
Oh, it was so camp. It was so camp.
It really was. That's what I'm thinking when you said you couldn't afford it. I thought, how much is the budget? It was a hospital bed, a curtain, and a nurse's outfit.
No, drag queens can't afford dancers in the vast majority of cases, unfortunately.
So what is this going to be like? Do you think it's going to be the same general format? Is it going to look more modern? Is it going to be the same old? I don't know. What do you reckon?
Well, judging by the Adele one from, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, I'm not sure. The Adele one seemed more in the moment than the original Kylie one. Because like you say, I think the original Kylie one was a little bit too scripted, but the Adele one I think was quite on the nose and a little bit more organic, I suppose, but I think it's going to be a very similar format. It's in the Royal Albert
If we want to know what it will look like, we should probably look up the Adele one, which I haven't seen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Did
would
you just say,
think
were
so.
you about to say it's in the Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah, that's where it's been held.
Really? Well, that's not a cheap little set like the first one. That's amazing.
No,
that's where she's done. For those of you, the uninitiated, that's where she did her Kylie Christmas shows.
It's going to be stunning, I think. I think it's the budget's going to be much bigger. Because realistically, though, with the first an audience with, Kylie herself sold that. It didn't matter what else they did, I suppose, in their minds.
All right, now, big question. What has she got to perform? What's compulsory?
Oh, right. So I would assume it's going to be... I mean, I don't know how long it'll actually be. I imagine about an hour. I would hope an hour at the very least. So obviously there's going to be Cat Girl on my head spinning around. I should be so lucky, I would assume. And it actually says in the description she's going to be performing some of her songs from Tension as well. So it doesn't just say, oh yeah, we're just going to do Padam. It says some of her songs from Tension, like plural. So it looks like it might be quite similar to the first one in how she was promoting Fever while simultaneously doing an audience with. So I don't know, but it feels like that might be the case.
Yes, and when she did an audience with, it was her first live performance of the new single, which I think was...
In Your Eyes.
In Your Eyes, yeah.
But yeah, I'd love if she did a medley in the way that she did in the first an audience with. And I personally would absolutely love if she did a second Kermit duet. But I know nobody else wants
no. Oh, God, no. No more Muppets. What is it with you British people and Muppets? You love them.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I know that nobody else wants her to do a second Kermit duet, but I do.
It's a piece of material with a fist up it. I don't understand. What's the appeal? Bloody Kermit the Frog. I wanted to rip it to shreds when I saw it. She sounded amazing, though.
She did. That's my favourite performance of Especially For You.
Special guests. She will always have a special guest or two. Who would you like to see?
Oh, I mean, I would like Ollie from Years and Years to do Seconds Midnight, to be honest. I would love that.
I reckon that's a real chance.
I think so.
Jessie Ware? So. I reckon you're right. I reckon we're going to get a bit of a disco medley.
Potentially. I mean, I would love to see that, especially Seconds to Midnight. That's my personal fave out of the guest list edition of Disco.
How lucky were we with guest list? I was a big cynic about it, but then when I got it, those extra 3 tracks, they were all crackers.
Oh, I didn't like the Gloria Gaynor one at all, but I did like the other 2.
I didn't like the video clip.
No, it's because you've got an absolute legend like Gloria Gaynor, and I was expecting the opposite of what we got, I suppose, and I think it just wasn't what I'd hoped it was going to be. It's not that it's bad.
Yeah. Oh, an audience with the second time round. What do our listeners think? Please, please, please send us an audio message, timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com. And if you do send one in, you might even get one of these. Oh, no, that's terrible. It must only let you play 3 times a show. The sound effect's gone. It disappeared off my screen. When I pressed it, it just went, not happening. And it went away. Well, look, Nathan, have you had fun on the show again?
Of course. You know, it's a joy to come. I've still not replied to that person who replied to me though about streaming.
Oh, there were many of them. There were lots of texts about you, and the audacity of youth basically was the general theme.
And that's absolutely fine. They can think I'm as audacious as they like. Is that even a word, audacious? I don't know. But all I want to say is this. Yes, your plays do matter. They matter in the sense that of a sentimental way. Like they matter in a sentimental way, but you could play that download one time or a million times. It will never amount to anything further than one sale. That's all I'd like to say.
You've been dying to get that off your chest, haven't you?
I have.
You feel better now?
I actually had a big plan of what I was going to say. I was going to do
I bet you did.
Sandwich. I was gonna say that because I can tell he's a very big Kylie fan who's fabulous and all this. And of course your plays matter because everybody who listens to Kylie's listens matter sentimentally. And then I was also going to say that I love Scandinavian men as my second compliment of the sandwich. But
now, in case you're wondering what on earth Nathan's talking about, I think there was a lovely Scandinavian gentleman out there. I can't remember your name, sir. I'm sorry about that, but I know you walk with your earphones in and listen. That's what you've told me. Well, Nathan he's dissing you again, actually, in a backhanded way.
I'm not dissing. I'm just saying that in the grand scheme of things and in the sense of getting Kylie's music out there, does a download play matter? No. Does it matter sentimentally? Yes.
Honestly, you're never going to let it go, are you? We're going to be talking in 10 years,
not when
and you're
it's
still going to be
important...
berating us all.
Not when it's an important moment for Kylie. I mean, she's clearly targeting a streaming audience with this album, I think.
It's been a pleasure, Nathan. You carry on being young, beautiful, and joyful.
Now have a wonderful rest of your day, Tim. And I can't wait for an audience with.
And a genuine thank you so much, Nathan. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And it's been a pleasure to talk to all of you too on this very, very exciting Kylie weekend. Are you about to go and watch the video clip again? How many times have you watched it? Be honest. Could you clock it? Do you put the thumbs up underneath the video? Do you leave a comment underneath it? Were you there when it premiered and you were watching the comments scrolling, and the hearts and the fireworks? It was pretty exciting. There were at least 3,000, if not more, people live watching the premiere. So you could stick a comment in there, but trust me, it just flashed past like Halley's Comet. Amazing stuff. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and there is so much more to talk about, so I'll talk to you soon.